In 1929, inside the dusty archives of Istanbul's Topkapi Palace, a group of scholars stumbled upon a rolled piece of gazelle skin. Fragile, yellowed, covered in strange ink. When they unrolled it, what they saw defied everything they knew about history. It was a map of the world, drawn in 1513 by an Ottoman admiral named Piri Reis, a map centuries ahead of its time. It showed Europe, Africa, and the Americas with startling accuracy. But that wasn't what made it impossible. At the bottom of the map, near the edge of the parchment, was something that shouldn't exist at all. A coastline drawn where no one in 1513 should have known it existed. Antarctica. And not just Antarctica. Antarctica without ice. Piri Reis was no ordinary sailor. He was an admiral, a scholar, and a collector of knowledge from across the known world. His map, according to his own notes written on the margin, was compiled from 20 older charts and 8 ancient maps drawn in the time of Alexander the Great. But here's the problem. Alexander the Great lived 2,000 years before Columbus. How could maps from his era show America, or Antarctica, a continent supposedly discovered in the 1800s? When modern cartographers examined the Piri Reis map, they were stunned. The coastlines of South America matched modern satellite imagery, not 16th century guesses. Even more bizarre, the section labeled as Antarctica aligned with the continent's subglacial landmass, a version only known to science after radar mapping in the 20th century. How could a 500-year-old map depict something that could only be seen through the ice? Some dismissed it as coincidence. Others proposed that Piri Reis had simply drawn an imagined southern continent, as medieval maps often did. But then came the measurements. Every latitude, every curvature matched, almost perfectly. Even the placement of the Andes Mountains, unknown to European explorers in 1513, was correct. Piri Reis himself left a note. It is said that the western lands were discovered by the Portuguese, but I have taken my knowledge from ancient sources that are no longer known to men. Those ancient sources, what were they? He claimed they came from old sea charts found in Alexandria, Cairo, and even older manuscripts brought by sailors from the East. But there's a deeper possibility that these ancient maps were remnants of a forgotten civilization, one that mapped the world long before recorded history began. In 1953, a U.S. Air Force cartographer named Harold Z. Ohlmeyer analyzed the map at the request of scholars. His report shocked everyone. He wrote, "The geographical detail shown in the lower part of the map agrees remarkably with results obtained from the seismic profile of the topography under the ice sheet. This indicates that the coastline had been mapped before it was covered by ice." According to glaciologists, Antarctica's coastline has been buried beneath ice for more than 6,000 years. That means whoever originally mapped it did so at a time when the Earth looked very different, before the last ice age had fully set in. If that's true, it rewrites everything we know about human history, because it would mean there was once a civilization capable of global navigation, advanced cartography, and astronomical precision, long before the rise of Egypt, Sumer, or Greece. Some believe that civilization was Atlantis. Others think it was an unknown maritime culture that existed along now submerged coastlines, destroyed by the flood at the end of the Ice Age, the same event that wiped out megafauna and reshaped continents. Whatever the truth, one fact remains. Piri Reis didn't invent those details. He copied them. And the question isn't just how he got them, but who drew them first. Even more curious, the Piri Reis map uses a projection system, a way of representing the curved Earth on flat paper that wasn't a T invented until modern times. It employs spherical trigonometry, mathematics supposedly unknown to 16th century cartographers. The distances between Africa and South America are correct within a few hundred kilometers, something impossible with the tools of that era. Was this luck? Or the echo of a knowledge passed down through fragments? the remnants of a once global understanding of our planet. To understand the mystery, we have to look at Piri Reis himself. He was an Ottoman admiral under Sultan Selim I, a master navigator who spent decades gathering maps, manuscripts, and reports from sailors of every nation: Portuguese, Arab, Indian, even Chinese. In his own writings, he admits that one of his main sources came from Christopher Columbus, or more precisely, from one of Columbus's lost charts. But that chart, too, referenced earlier maps of lands to the west. Maps Columbus said came from ancient times. It's a chain of inheritance. Modern explorers copying medieval ones, who copied Roman, who copied Greek, who copied someone else. Someone so old that history forgot their name. Some researchers believe those original map makers lived before the Ice Age ended, perhaps in a world where sea levels were 400 feet lower, revealing coastlines and islands now hidden beneath the ocean. If they had ships, astronomy, and the ability to measure the curvature of the Earth, their maps might have survived in temples, libraries, or legends, only to resurface in fragments like the one Piri Reis found. And if so, the map isn't an anomaly. It is evidence. Evidence that we've built our version of history on the ruins of another. But skeptics argue there's a simpler explanation. They say the Antarctic section isn't Antarctica at all. It is a distorted extension of South America, exaggerated by imperfect measurements. Yet this theory fails to explain one thing. The subglacial mountains of Queen Maud Land on the map match radar imaging from the 1950s, data Piri Reis couldn't possibly have known. Even the curvature of the coastline matches what Antarctica would look like without ice. And that is the detail no one can explain. So what does this mean? Maybe the Piri Reis map is a window into a forgotten age, a time when humanity had mastered the art of exploration, then lost it to catastrophe. Or maybe it's proof that knowledge is cyclical, discovered, lost, rediscovered, like the tides of history itself. Whatever the answer, one thing is certain. Piri Reis wasn't a man ahead of his time. He was a man guided by ghosts, by the cartographers of an age so ancient that even their names are dust. The map that shouldn't exist still lies in Istanbul today, locked behind glass. Its ink faded, but its message clear. It whispers that the world we think we know is older than we dare to imagine.